So today I'm starting a new segment on my channel called Show and Tell. A place where I can share with you the things that have been going on with me and some of the things I've picked up. I think it'll be fun. Yoshi! So the first thing I want to talk about is air quality. Here in Bellingham, Washington, we've been dealing with really bad air quality for about 2 weeks. There's a massive fire north of me in British Columbia, Canada. And for weeks they've been trying to put this thing out, but it's billowed so much smoke into the air that the city of Bellingham has kind of advised people not to go outside for an extended period of time, not to go running, not to exert yourself too much when you are outside. So for like the past 2 weeks, I've pretty much been a homebody, with the exception of when I had to go out to get groceries. That's it, you know. So yeah, I've been a homebody for 2 weeks, taking my vitamin D, only going outside when I need to get groceries or something really essential. But other than that, it's kind of been stuck at home. Hopefully we'll be getting some wind and some rain to help deal with these fires, and life will return to normal. So that's enough bad news for one day, don't you think? Let's move on to the segment I recorded a couple of weeks ago outside before the fires had started. And let's go talk about some X-Men.
So, my very good friend in Juneau, Alaska, Bo, who is one of the founding members of the best GTA crew on the planet, Team Power Awesome Team, Bo was kind enough, as a gift, randomly, to send me X-Men, God Loves, Man Kills, a graphic novel that came out in 1982, I believe. To real quickly talk about the story, Magneto is investigating the death of 2 mutant children who were dispatched by William Stryker, who in this incarnation is a priest, is a televangelist. And William Stryker is just on a brutal crusade to wipe the earth of the abomination that is the X-Men. In the story, they capture Xavier and they use him hooked up to a machine to try to eradicate all of the mutants that are on Earth. This book, after reading it, is essentially what X-Men 2 based their story off of. This is much better than the movie, though. Like, this holds the test of time. This is so good. It was such a page-turner, and I can't recommend it enough. Chris Claremont can write a hell of an X-Men story. You could take this story and replace any minority in it, and that's why it's so good. That's why this book resonates so well with so many people. That's why the Amazon reviews on this thing are nuts. Like, it's really good. Like, you can't go wrong for an X-Men book if you read this. So thank you very much, Bo. I really enjoyed this, and I recommend it to everybody now. Thanks.
So now I'm trying to figure out what we should talk about next. I've got a few more things to talk about, comics related, or I can break it up a little bit with something else. Let's break it up with something else. So real quick, I want to talk about this guy. This is the Hallmark SoundWave Christmas ornament that came out in July. I did a video review about this guy, and I'll link to it down below in the show notes. I'm still super impressed with this thing. It's sat on my desk ever since I got it. This is possibly the most accurate G1 Transformer ornament Hallmark has ever put out. If you get the chance, I suggest you pick it up because it's really that good. And if you want to know more about it, just check out my review down below. So the next thing I want to talk about are Hot Wheels. This may seem a little random. The other day I was out with my kids shopping. Sometimes we go to the toy aisle and she gets to pick out a Hot Wheel. And this little guy is the one she picked out the last time we went, and I am super impressed by this. This Hot Wheel is called a Speedwinder. It's from the Speedwinder series. It's essentially just a little bit bigger than a normal Hot Wheel with a rubber band in the center of it. And you just wind up this guy and set it down, and it just zips on. I can't believe how impressed I am with this, or the fact that something like this got made. This is such a high quality toy. It doesn't feel like it's going to break on you. It even came with spare rubber bands. I mean, you could put normal household rubber bands in this thing, but it came with spare rubber bands. Like, the fact that they didn't make this battery powered so you'd have to constantly buy batteries or something on it that you'd have to constantly buy just impresses the hell out of me. I'm so thrilled with this toy, and she loves it. She plays with this thing every day since we got it. This thing has been so cool. I really think this is going to last for a long time. It doesn't show any weak spots, anything that could break on it. I'm super happy with it. I'm glad she saw it. It's something she plays with constantly, And as somebody who buys toys and thinks the toys from his generation were really good and wouldn't break, it's nice to see something that feels that way again. I can't recommend this guy enough. This is pretty awesome. Go check him out, even if you're not going to buy it. Just like check him out in the store. Try winding him up. It's shockingly good quality. I'm really thrilled with it. So let's come back to comics again. I'm really big into blank comic book covers. They're one of the biggest things I collect in comics now. And I not only love collecting them, I like taking them to conventions and meeting artists and getting them to draw on these covers. I feel like they make comics collectible, they make comics valuable. So I picked up two this last week. The first one I got is Captain Canuck. This is a super neat looking book. I really like the minimalist comic book covers where ideally it would just be the logo of the comic and nothing else. Every now and then I end up getting one with a little extra because I just can't find any other options. But this is the first one. I'm looking forward to getting it drawn on by an artist at a convention. I don't know when, I don't know who, and I don't have an idea yet, but they'll come to me, and I'm gonna get it done. The next one I got is a blank G.I. Joe, a real American hero, slightly older as far as blank comic books have been around. This is G.I. Joe issue 208, and I don't know that in this series that they release anything simpler than this design. This is very similar to the Transformers Regeneration 1 blank cover I've shown off in the past. This one's just a very clean, very nice cover. I'm looking forward to getting it filled out by an artist at some point. So my deal with blank comic book covers are, I've only been into them since I think 2014 is when I got started. But I'd like to, right now, my current thinking is it would be fun to tie these blank covers, have them sketched with some sort of connection to Transformers. I really like that idea. Now, G.I. Joe has had crossovers since the 80s with Transformers. Captain Canuck has not. So that could be interesting. I like to find inspiration in other comic book covers. A lot of what I've been really into is having artists homage other comic book covers with the Transformers theme, and you'll see that in some of my sketch cover interviews with artists. The last comic I want to talk to you about is a blank cover for the $6 Million Man. I saw this come out, I had to have it. This just struck such a hard nostalgia vibe for me that I went ahead and mistakenly picked up this $6 Million Man comic book. These are not the same. The way I understand it, and I could be wrong here, is this is an ongoing series. This is not. This is older. And how I got the two mixed up, I'll never know. But I ended up buying this. I read it. I enjoyed it. I bought the remaining 4 issues in the run, and I read them all. And it feels like an episode of the $6 Million Man that they couldn't afford to produce. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the way the lettering implemented the sound effects from the show. It was really good. The letterer did a really good job on this. So yeah, good book. It was worth the money. Read it once. I'll probably never read it again. But this is still awesome. I'm looking forward to getting this signed, getting this sketched on, and it'll be interesting to see how I tie this, what ideas I can come up with to tie this into Transformers. I'm looking forward to this guy. This should be fun. So that was my first episode of Show and Tell. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Leave comments down below. Please hit that subscribe button. It would help me out. And what do you think about the comics I picked out? What do you think about blank comic book covers? What do you think about that wind-up Hot Wheels toy? That thing's pretty awesome. I really am interested in what you guys think about these things. Let's have a discussion about it. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.